Hi everyone, welcome to my periodic poetry podcast. My name is Rob Murray. How this is going to work is, about once a week, I'll drop a fresh episode of the podcast where I will introduce a poem, then I'll read that poem to you, and then I'll sign off for the week. And like I said, I'm planning to do these about once a week, but that may shift here or there, and every episode after this one will not have this lengthy introduction. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy today's poem. Today's poem is called Not Bees. Late in the summer of the year, I stayed at home and worked from here. There was a curious series of taps, semi-daily, on the window glass. For weeks and weeks they came, and never changing, always same. Single bees, who I, at the time, assumed simply could not see, because of sun glare, or some reflection where they didn't know that they approached a closed window. But realization dawned one awful morning, as I yawned, and saw they were not listing, but were testing, searching on my wall for cracks, like the one in which they had now packed. Those little yellow fellows, mostly yellow girls, had built a nest inside my house, while I'd been watching squirrels. Without renting, or my consenting, absent asking or saying please, their queen had set up shop for her, exploiting a crack in the mortar. Eggs, and geez, so many bees. So I waited, watched and paced, till the sun was down, so I could go round, and spray them as they slept, turning nest to brickwork crypt. I felt guilty as I waited. Colony collapse is real and unabated. Should I not kill, but call a keeper to suck them out with a special sweeper? Vacuumed bees are a gift for the avid apiarist, and thus I would have done my bit for the local environment. But a new time was not on my side, and so I grabbed my pesticide, and when the sun was good and down, I went outside for a chemical showdown. Of course, the can was mostly empty, and so I sprayed ineffectually, mostly painting the windows and walls with what I needed to kill them all. Battle lost, but war not done. I spent the night in consideration. I'd go out and get more spray, bees be damned, my house, my way. But then as the sun arose, I looked again and saw that those bees are not bees, you see. They are in fact yellow jackets that would attack us and sting repeatedly, unlike bees, inflicting pain in a ratio out of balance with any gain I might see from spraying chemical justice in their way during the day. Yellow jackets I despise, and I confess I long for their demise. They are most invasive in their way right around the time of my birthday. Planning, feasting, prepping for their slumber, they chew on meat and cake and lumber. They buzz and sting and then some, and I promise they are not welcome. I know they fill a natural role, streaming forth from their hidey hole. But after lunch, I'm going to buy a more than adequate supply of spray and maybe some more traps so that I can hopefully collapse their damned attempt to live in my house free. Those winged imposters, those most definitely not bees. I taped the windows and a door, and then I taped them all some more, for those not bees were coming through the cracks in my windows and my door. My attempts at chemical annihilation were met with only my frustration. Those winged devils made their place just too high for me to spray. I did not do that to which I then aspired, which would have been to set the whole damn house on fire. But instead I let the cooler heads claim victor. I called in the exterminator. The man came out with his ladder and long sleeves and insecticidal powder, puffing right into their hole, that mortar's crack in my northern wall. Of course, the first attempt was to no avail. The professional's attempt had failed. I called them back per their guarantee, for they had not slain those foul not bees. He climbed back up there into battle, powder in hand, upon his ladder. Finally, they no longer spilled from my wall, and yet, but still, I found them in that most vulnerable place, not the bed, but my bathroom's space. My wits long gone and patience tried, I longed to see those insects dead. I thus discovered their final place, that final entrance into my space, and emptied my last can of spray, and now I can finally say that those not bees are no longer here, no longer spreading surprise and fear. They no longer torment me and mine, gone to that nest up in the sky. Good night, so long, and fare thee well, you not bees that gave me such hell. I will not miss you, not one bit, especially each time I sit. Thanks again for listening. You can find my books of poetry and other books at robertcmurray.com. And if you want to reach out and let me know what you think of the podcast, I am at LeftHandRob on Twitter. I'll see you next time.